After making a video on the recent episode of One Punch Man that just dropped to see whether I can make a better animation of a particular shot that I didn't like in the episode, I got some very pleasant responses.
Brother, this guy stinks!
And to that I say, keep the comments coming. Like, for real, I wasn't expecting that anyway, although there were a couple of pleasant responses and people encouraging me. But even I know that I don't think I really did well in that video. And I still think you should check out my video because I believe it gives you a newfound appreciation for the animators that are actually working on One Punch Man. But that being said, I still want to defend myself and restore my honor.
My honor, my throne, my country. I'm about to lose them all.
By reanimating another shot from the first episode of season 3 of One Punch Man. And hopefully this time, you guys can actually praise me. So to be on the safe side, I've decided to animate the worst shot in One Punch Man episode 1, season 3. And sincerely speaking, I don't think it can get worse than this. Like, if I cannot make an animation better than this, then I think I should just give up as an animator. There is no hope for me. So to start off, I need a solid grasp on the perspective I'm operating with. And I think I got that down on the first try. Now during the course of the animation, I decided that I needed to add a limp onto Garo by shaking him a little bit to the side because Garo in this case is very exhausted and is limping. So in order to capture that limp, I had to shift a particular part of the movements to the side just to feel that stomp. Now, before I embarked on this journey of redemption, I knew that there was something that's going to limit the quality of my animation no matter how great it turned out. And that was the background. As you can see in the original animation, the background seems to be 3D. It seems to be rendered in 3D, and I really don't have access to 3D softwares like that because, as you all know, I'm using an Android, and there is little applications for 3D apps on Android devices. Maybe in the future there will be one. And so my focus is just on the character animation, and I don't think this is a cop out. But yeah, I'm just limited in that regard. So I have to look for a way to maybe make the background in 2D. And even if I'm going to do it in 2D, it can't be as detailed as what you have in the 3D background. So you're going to have to bear with me in that regard. But that being said, I still think my character animation is turning out fine. As regards the original animation, I think where they got it wrong was in the placement of the neck in position to the head. The neck is looking too short. And another thing is that I believe the artist who drew that wanted to show off Garo's fiery ear, forgetting that at that angle, the back of the ear is covered by the angle, like the jaw, the head and everything, because it's now backwards, so you can't see the other spikes. Garo's head is divided into 2 spikes, so when they're trying to maintain things from that perspective and also show the ear from that perspective, it's not possible for it to look that way in 3D space. Another problem facing this animation is that it's not really animated when you look at it. It seems more like as if the image was rigged, with the only thing being animated being the right arm. Aside that, notice that all the other images just seems like a single image was drawn, cut into different parts, and those parts were moved separately. For instance, the head remains the same across all frames, only shifting from left to right, from right to left. The chest region, the torso seems the same, and even the right arm, although slightly animated, seems as if it was just sliding across the body, the rest of the body. The only thing that seems really animated there is the right arm and the legs. So it makes it look stiff. People who are not animators might actually look at it. You can tell that something is wrong with it, but you may not be able to tell what is actually wrong with it. And so those are the major flaws of that animation. Now, one thing that I want to give the team of One Punch Man credit for, like always, is the compositing. When it comes to the colors and everything, the way the character interacts with the background, whatever team is handling that is really doing a great job to make everything fit. I actually try my best to make sure that everything looks similar to it as possible, but even though I'm doing the compositing, even though my animation looks better, the overall image and aesthetics of my animation does not really look like that of One Punch Man. Now, maybe it's something in-house. I might actually need to learn their style, but I'm trying my best to replicate it as much as possible. And now I'm trying to create the background. I had to move all those lines frame by frame just to get that 3D feel. And regardless, this is still the result of my animation. It doesn't really look much similar. I don't even know whether it even looks like Garo in the end. I decided to add glowy eyes to give it that monster effect. But the only thing that seems to do is make Garo look like a robot. And the limping is not even the case. It looks like a Terminator. And the normal thing would have been for me to just erase it and give him black eyes like it was in the original anime. But at this point, I was feeling too lazy to go back and make those final adjustments. I'd already spent like about 5 hours and a couple of minutes just making it this far. So I decided to leave it in. And the other things I added were just highlights, like a pinkish or reddish highlight. And the reason I added this was to show that Garo was moving towards a direction that had this tint, this reddish highlight. And the closer I got to that room, I decided to also introduce a pinkish blur just to show that it's already closer to the room. Although going back to watch the anime, I realized I should have used orange, but somehow my brain just imagined it had a reddish or a pinkish tint. While editing the video, I decided to stop being lazy and just make those final adjustments. The final adjustments anyway, so it only took about maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to get it done quickly. And this is what it actually looks like. So after coming this far, you guys are going to be the judge of this one. Was I able to restore my honor? Is my animation still has, So, well, anyway, if you made it this far to this video, thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe. And God bless you. And you know what? Don't forget to drop your comments and give me your criticism about what I have actually done, whether it's actually good. But no matter how terrible it is, at least I'm not using AI.